Hey everybody, and welcome to Knife Nerd Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about this guy right here. This is the Benchmade Osborne 940. Alright, so first up, let's talk about the blade steel on this guy. This is S30V. This is not proprietary from Benchmade. This is a popular blade steel among higher end knives. What it's known for is being able to take an edge and hold that edge for quite a long time. In my experience, after a few weeks, it actually went from being incredibly sharp and cutting my finger on the first day that I had it to me having to add a little bit of force to cut through things. Honestly, for a premium blade steel, I would expect it to hold an edge for a little bit longer than a few weeks. So to sum up the category of this blade steel, overall, I think I would give it a rating of 8. While it doesn't last as long as I expected it to, it absolutely lasts longer than any other blade steel that I currently own. So I can give that a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoy the way that this knife fits in my hand. I have small to medium size hands. This knife fits me like a dream. I have plenty of room here at the back. It's nice and slender while still having a little bit of a contoured top here that will lend itself to folding into the top part of your palm with plenty of room for me to fit all 4 fingers. And this leaves room for the jimping on the top. The purpose of jimping is to keep your hand from slipping off of the knife and onto the blade. So to sum up the ergonomics of this knife, I would say that they're great, but probably not perfect for everyone. It is a more slender knife, which may lend itself to be better suited to smaller hands. However, it is a pretty uniform shape and not something that will feel out of place in most people's hands. It's not perfect for anyone, but it's great for a lot of people. With ergonomics, that leaves us with a 7. Alright, so let's talk about deployment and locking mechanism on this knife. Being a Benchmade, this has Benchmade's proprietary axis lock. One thing about this locking system that I actually did not love is that this is going to be the deepest part in your pocket, so it's really going to collect a lot of lint, and that can be really annoying, if not functionally, then at least aesthetically. The opening on this knife is incredibly smooth, and that is partially due to the bronze bushings. The blade to handle ratio of this knife is large on the blade side, which I really like. It's almost as long as the handle itself. Basically what that means is that this knife is incredibly smooth to open due to the weight of its blade. You get a really smooth action on the open, even for this fully manual knife. Overall, for deployment, this knife has these bronze bushings that make it incredibly smooth. That mixed with the blade weight, the axis lock, just makes this a fantastic knife every single time that you need it. And for those reasons, I can give it a 9 out of 10. The next thing I want to talk about with this knife is carry options and weight. For weight, you have 2.9 ounces for a blade that's 3.4 inches long. That's really incredible. It's one of the things that makes the 940 a very friendly EDC. It's incredibly small for what you get, and it's incredibly light for what you get. As far as carry options, you do only have tip-up carry. You do have 2-directional tip-up carry, which means that you can use it on the right or left-hand side. That combined with the axis lock and the thumb stud that is on both sides of the blade makes this knife completely ambidextrous. The pocket clip that comes standard on the 940 is this Benchmade stamped pocket clip. It definitely doesn't give you a deep carry option though, because this is where your pocket would stop. So this is how much of the blade that's actually sticking out. Now you can call Benchmade and receive one of these. This is the deep carry clip that they provide, and this was completely free. To me, this just really amps the 940 up because now your pocket carry is there, completely submerged in the pocket, and it keeps these aluminum handle scales from getting dinged up. In my opinion, it is so superior to the clip that comes with the knife. So to wrap up the carry section of this knife, I would say that this is one of the best knives for carrying that you can get for this amount of weight and for this amount of blade, which is why this knife has become so popular among ADCers. I think it's just due to the amount of blade to pocket space and weight ratio. It's really fantastic. And because of that, I can give it a 9 out of 10 for carry, especially with this deep carry clip. Once you pick one of these things up from Benchmade by just simply calling them, it's going to be hard for this to leave your pocket. Alright, so let's talk about the scales of this knife. This Benchmade 940 comes in green aluminum with a purple titanium backspacer. While they are aluminum, they actually have a really nice tacky feel to them. Some people call this texture sort of chalky. That's kind of what I would say. It almost feels as if it has a powder coating to it. So love it or hate it, this knife does come with a purple titanium backspacer. If you wanted to get into it, you really could take apart this knife and apply some other sort of color to this titanium backspacer. I've seen people anodize them with bronze and different colors. The bronze actually looks really nice with this blade as well. One other thing about these scales is that they are aluminum, which is not an indestructible material. Especially with this color, you're going to see bumps and scratches. And if that's really going to bother you, if you're the type of person that needs to keep your knives in pristine condition, honestly, the aluminum is probably not the right choice for you. Personally, I like the way that it develops a patina over time and it just looks really worn in and nice. So to sum up with the scales, I do like the tackiness that they provide. I actually really love the green. I'm just not that crazy about that purple backspacer. And if you don't love it, there's always the option to take it out and replace it with another color. So my overall score for the Benchmade 940 scales is a 7. So let's talk about value and price of the knife. I bought it for about $150, but you can buy them for about $180, I believe, on Blade HQ. That's an expensive knife. If you're not used to higher end production knives, that might seem like a lot of money, and it is. Undeniably, that's a lot of money for a knife. But here's the thing. This knife is not only exceptional quality, but the customer service that I've experienced is already impeccable. I bought this knife secondhand, and even though I didn't purchase this from Benchmade, they provided me the pocket clip with no questions asked. I am able to send this in anytime I want to get it sharpened for completely free. If I ever need to get it serviced, that is completely free. Benchmade offers a lifetime warranty on every one of their products. I love that this knife is basically going to be with me for the rest of my life because of that. So even though that $180 is pretty steep, this is a purchase that will last you so much longer than a lot of cheaper knives. And if that's something that's important to you, I would definitely put this one towards the top of your list, or really any Benchmade for that matter, because you're going to get that with every single Benchmade. So because of all that, I will say that the value for this knife is a 9. $180 is still really expensive. I can't give it a perfect 10 because of that, but that lifetime warranty, I can't put it any lower than a 9 for this knife. It's hard to go wrong with a Benchmade knife, and the 940 is no exception. This knife is robust for its size, it carries well for its size, it's light for its size, it's a beautiful looking knife, it has striking colors, it has an S30V high quality steel blade, it has a reverse Tonto, interesting grind, and this knife is going to serve anyone well. I truly believe that, and I can strongly recommend the Benchmade 940, and it is definitely one of my favorite knives. And that leaves us with a total of 8 for the Benchmade 940.